Legislator Hathaway.
Here.
Legislator Burkler. Here. Legislator Burns has been excused. Legislator Gilbert.
Here.
Legislator Chartrand.
Here.
Legislator Morahan.
Here.
Legislator Kalzer.
Here.
Legislator Osborne.
Here.
Legislator King.
Here.
Legislator Dahlhoff.
Here. Everyone would stand and with the invocation and the pledge. And Legislator Gilbert, if you would lead us in the invocation, please.
Our Heavenly Father, we offer a solemn prayer in this month of Thanksgiving for our families, our communities, and the privilege of representing our neighbors on this county board. We ask that as voters go to the polls today to vote for their elected representatives, that you would bless our leaders from the local to the national level with wisdom, charity, and humility. Amen.
Amen. Face the flag for pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So the October 5th, 2021 board meetings have been distributed. If there are no amendments or corrections, they stand approved. Report of the Finance and Rules Committee for Rule 6, Cassandra.
The Finance and Rules Committee has met and they recommend to waive rules to act upon late resolutions.
Need a motion? Lisa, second by Jay. Any discussion? Is that discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried. Privilege of the floor. Is there anyone here that would like privilege of the floor to make any comments?
I don't even notice it anymore.
Presentations, oops, I'm sorry.
Hi,
Your name, please.
yes, I'm Eric Griffin. I've been going over some of the resolutions and some other things I want to present tonight too. First resolution, 262. Almost $2 million in this, and it doesn't say what it's for. When people like me and other people, or the voters in this county, look at this, I will vote no on this right now. Because it doesn't say specifically what it is for. As a taxpayer, I guarantee these other taxpayers don't want to see us spend $2 million on what it is for.
Well, that supports the total list of claims, which I believe is presented publicly along with the resolutions, right?
It's available by FOIL request.
It's available.
All right, because usually, because I've been an officer in different areas, like the American Legion, we had to specifically state what it's for in stuff like this. But it doesn't say it right here. Now, what I'm getting at is I've been starting to wonder in other people because they've been getting bills of Lewis County General from other areas, not from Lewis County. It could be from within New York State or outside New York State. From my resources, this county doesn't own a hospital anymore. Is that true or false?
I'm not aware of any transfer that's happened to the title of the hospital.
All right, then, the question is, because this hasn't been said, of how you guys got the hospital out of the red ink into the black ink several years, like 4 or 5 years ago.
I'm going to pass on that.
Why? Why?
Because this is privilege of the floor. It's not supposed to be a dialogue or a debate. It's an opportunity for you.
The public wants to know. If you can't simply answer that, you don't deserve to be a politician. I'm running because I'm going to be a voice for the people, not lie and sit there and not be a voice for the people. You're elected by the people, not by money. We, the people, created government. Government did not create government. We, the people, government is the vehicle, and we, the people, decide which way government should go. And you need to start telling the truth of what's going on. So, stop playing games and tell us the truth.
I'm not aware of anyone here playing games or lying.
Yeah, you are right now, because you won't tell us how you got the hospital out of writing into the black ink.
I'll give you another minute and then your time is going to be up.
You know what? Because I know, because with my resources, they have told me the county does not own the hospital anymore. Because they're in insurance areas. So that they have specifically told me that this hospital doesn't own, this county doesn't own the hospital anymore.
Well, we suggest that you review that a little closer.
So you need to start telling me what's going on before it comes out.
Anyone else? Presentations of petitions, communications, and notices. Cassandra, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A resolution from Livingston County was received supporting Operation Greenlight for active military service members in transition to civilian life. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Reports of county officers and departments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Legislators received the Highway and Solid Waste October audit reports. Senior Codes Officer Ward Daly submitted a report on an unsafe structure located at 6551 Number 4 Road in the town of Watson. The 2022 tentative county budget has been filed with the clerk of the board by Budget Officer Ryan Pichet. The semi-annual report of mortgage tax receipts and disbursements was received from the county clerk and county treasurer for the period of April 1st, 2021 through September 30th, 2021. The following report of apportionment of mortgage tax totaling $265,543.69 was distributed to each legislator and was presented to the county treasurer along with the warrant. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Reports of standing committees. Tom, would you start us off with finance and rules, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report at this time.
Any questions for Tom? If not, we'll move on to Jerry, General Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing to report at this time. I do have some resolutions in the packet. If there's any questions, we'll get the answers down. Thank you.
Questions for Jerry? Moving on to Andrea, Health and Human Services.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I have 5 motions. The first motion is to authorize Social Services Commissioner Jennifer Jones to refill 1 full-time senior account clerk position effective immediately due to resignation.
Moved by Andrea, second by Lisa. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries.
The next motion is to authorize the Social Services Commissioner Jennifer Jones to refill 1 full-time employment and training specialist position effective immediately due to resignation.
Moved by Andrea, second by Dick. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Carries.
I have a motion to authorize Public Health Director Ashley Waite to refill 1 full-time physical manager position effective immediately due to internal transfer.
Moved by Andrea, second by Lisa. Discussion. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
The other motion is to authorize Public Health Director Ashley Wade to refill one full-time public health specialist position effective immediately and any associated backfills.
Moved by Andrea, second by Jerry. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carries.
And the last motion is to authorize Public Health Director Ashley Wade to refill one full-time senior account clerk position effective immediately due to resignation.
Moved by Andrea, second by Lisa. Any discussion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, that's all I have.
Thank you. Andrea, any questions for Andrea? We'll move on to Dick as a board rep on the hospital board.
Thank you, Rick. We're getting caught up on our Employee of the Month awards, and so for the month of May, Keith Kelly, food service helper, was our Employee of the Month. For June, Rochelle Sullivan, RN, and for July, Dwayne Carpenter, physical therapist. The only other thing I have is there's a really nice piece in the paper today about what we're doing for our employees at the hospital and trying to stay current with our competition and what have you. And it's pretty self-explanatory, so rather than waste time, we got budget time. That's all I had.
Thank you. Mr. Kerr, our hospital CEO, if you have anything you'd like to add?
No, unless there are questions, I would have nothing further to add.
Thank you.
Thank you.
County manager report, Ryan?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The tentative budget has been delivered both in hard copy at your desk and also via email. We'll have that posted. The PDF will be posted on our website shortly as well. The capital budget that is associated with the operating plan has also been printed, and you have seen that actually a couple months ago through the Finance and Rules Committee. That hasn't changed. Remember, from here, we will have a budget hearing on November 18th. That will be the public's opportunity to weigh in on the 2022 spending plan. From there, the board can adopt the budget at any time going forward. Any changes to the budget at this point need to be made by resolution. So if you've got something you'd like to propose, you can talk to Cassandra and I before the next meeting, or on the floor, you can make a motion that, it has the same effect as a resolution. So that's how we make any amendments to the budget going forward. Between that and some other things that we're going to discuss a little bit later, that has pretty much occupied my time. So that's all for my report for today, unless there's any questions.
Any questions for Ryan? No, we'll move on to Eric with the county treasurer report.
Ryan stole my report. Budget has also occupied the majority of my time. Our staff has also been pretty busy assisting HR with CSEA calculations, et cetera. So no report today. Other than that.
Thank you. Report of the Finance and Rules Committee for Rule 7. Cassandra.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance and Rules Committee reports that they have examined the claims presented for payment in the total amount of $1,966,123.92 and recommend that they be audited and allowed for the amounts claimed.
Need a motion? Moved by Lisa, second by Andrea. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. So before we move on to the resolutions, I'd like to talk about or mention something. Last week I learned that our county manager, Brian Pichet, recently received the Credentialed Manager designation from the International County Management Association. Brian is a member of this professional association which is worldwide with over 13,000 members, whose mission is to advance professional local government. The prestigious credential designation is awarded to members who demonstrate significant experience as a senior management executive in local government with a commitment to high integrity and professional development. Ryan is one of only 6 active credentialed managers in New York State. I believe I speak for the entire board in congratulating Ryan on this distinguished achievement and recognition so early in his career. And I want to personally thank him for the exceptional leadership, management, innovation, and enthusiasm he brings to Lewis County as our county manager. Congratulations. We're going to give him that little raise. Okay, resolutions. Are there resolutions that we need to pull out of the slate?
Mr. Chairman, so far I have number 262, 279, and then the late resolutions 292 and 293.
Anyone else have any that they'd like to vote on separately? If not, I would like a motion to pass the rest of them as a slate. Dick, second by Greg. Any discussion? All in favor of the slate?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The slate carries. And we'll now go back to 262.
262 is auditing and allowing claims in the amount of $1,966,123.92.
Moved by Phil, second by Jerry. Any discussion? Roll call.
Legislator Hathaway,
Yes.
Legislator Burns has been excused, Legislator Chartran,
Yes.
Legislator Colzer,
Yes.
Legislator Osborne,
Yes.
Legislator Burkhardt. Yes. Legislator Gilbert,
Yes.
Legislator Moorhan,
Yes.
Legislator King,
Yes.
and Legislator Dolhawk.
Yes.
The next one is 279, resolution awarding bid and authorizing agreement between the County of Lewis and Bernie Bus Service for transportation services in Lewis County.
Moved by Jerry, second by Lisa. Any discussion?
I have to recuse.
Greg?
I have to recuse.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Show Greg recusing himself, please. Motion carries.
Resolution 292, resolution supporting Operation Green Light in recognition of active military service members and those in transition to civilian life.
Moved by Lisa, second by Jerry. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? That carries.
Number 293, resolution authorizing and ratifying tentative agreement and final contract between the County of Lewis and Local 825 of the Civil Service Employees Association.
Moved by Lisa, second by Andrea. Discussion.
I have to recuse.
Greg? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Show Greg recusing himself and the motion carries. Moving on to other business. Any other business that we need to take care of?
Would you care to, you mentioned about the solar?
Sure.
You know, a long time ago, Eric in his presentation showed us the credits from Green Skies. And you, Larry, said, does that look right? And so that prompted Joan to get into it and Eric, and no, it wasn't right. And
I'd like to, one thing, say that just proves there's no dumb question. Dumb answers maybe, but not dumb questions. But in a conversation with Larson Engineering, who we hired to help us with this, the result is that the credits we have received from National Grid are short by $105,950 for 2018, 19, and 20. The credits that we are short from Green Skies because of low production is $26,779. So that we are going to get $132,000 more in credits that we have been lacking. And ironically enough, that's just about the same amount as what we have received in credits. So we're going to double our credits for those 3 years. And going forward, we will get them on an ongoing basis. Because Joan and Eric are going to work that out.
Yeah.
Eric didn't know he was going to work it out.
Thanks for telling me, Phil, so I didn't have to be the one.
So, but anyway, I would like to acknowledge Eric and Larry for bringing that up, and obviously it makes a big difference. And now we know exactly what grid is giving us per kilowatt, which is the 12.3 that we felt like we were supposed to get. And that's what it comes out to when we do the numbers with what the credit that they haven't given us yet. And this credit they haven't given us is their number.
Right.
So it's not like it's in contention.
And the credit is there, it's not like we have to fight to get it back.
Right.
It's there with National Grid, we haven't lost it, we just have to make sure we set up the accounts to claim it all.
Right.
Right.
Exactly right.
What about the Green Sky piece then?
In our discussions with them, they do not contest the fact that they are underproducing. Their inverters went down a couple of times or whatever, but they're in agreement. The intent is that we would send them the numbers that we feel are, that they're short by, and give them a chance to smoke it over. But there shouldn't be any contention there. And actually, when we get the credits from Grid, that's going to increase the amount that they owe us, because that will increase the shortage. So there doesn't appear to be any contention on either Grid or Green Skies, but on what we're coming up with. Any other questions or comments about that?
I think we owe you and the rest of the team involved a great thank you.
Definitely Phil, because he did work through all those numbers in one of his famous spreadsheets, which was helpful.
Yeah, but he just loves to do that anyway.
Yeah.
I would say that if I asked if it was correct, it was because I didn't understand the process in the first place. And with the multiple conversations that we've had with Larson over the last few months, I'm really amazed at how complicated this whole thing really was. And I was very thankful that Joan had her hand on it and was able to weed through the process. But in addition to that, we wouldn't be where we are today without Phil's efforts. We're all busy, and it probably would have gotten swept under the rug for at least another year. Maybe eventually we would have got to it. But it was really Phil that drove the discussions and made sure that they happened, and made sure that, we got the credits that were due to us. Not pointing any fingers. The credits are there, and they're willing to allocate them, but that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for Phil with his famous spreadsheets.
The numbers were the easy part. What you said about Joan, that was the hard part. Really. Delving into the contract, that was the hard part. The numbers were the easy part. Thank you for saying that, you embarrassed me, but
That's what he wanted.
I believe he succeeded.
I'm getting back at.
There was one other thing I wanted to just mention offhand, and I'm not to mention any names because there were so many people involved over so many years, basically, but the team effort to clean up Lyons Falls Pulp and Paper was really a special thing. When I first got on the board, I didn't realize how bad it was, and Rick Lucas arranged a tour down there. Then I realized how bad it was. And I wouldn't mention names, but you all know who you are, and there's been a lot done there, and it deserves credit.
It took a long time to get done. It was a major effort. There were a lot of players involved, and we're just very fortunate that we were able to clean that up, even though it took 10 or 11 years, I think, right, Gary? Well, so I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
One other thing.
Brian must have given you some of his time. Yeah. Good point, Eric.
I was trying to get him back to Harrisville before dark.
You're gonna have to hurry. Yeah. It'll be deer dodging time.
Okay, any other business? We need an executive session.
Yes, I wanted to have an attorney-client privilege session or an executive session to discuss with the board some potential properties that we're looking at and the reasons why.
Motion to go into executive session, Dick, second by Tom, all in favor? Anyone opposed? We'll take a 3-minute recess and then we'll be in executive session.
Anything to happen after executive session?
I'm sorry,
Will anything happen after executive session?
I don't think so.
hopefully we go home, does that count?
Well, are you gonna vote on it?
We will vote to adjourn.
I live for those days. That's right, the race is on.